So I got to process what is often referred to as divine timing. And in my experience, it's through being able to listen and with, as Eckhart puts it, it's I believe the words were joy, ease, and lightness. Where it's not only necessarily comfortable, but it's this inspiration comes from it in a very unexpected but very gentle way. It's very guided. Because I was watching this video by Matt Kahn, and I never really watched a lot of his videos, but I have seen several of them. And it makes sense because it does tie into everything that is just being. And it reminded me of how he was talking about the fact that we all kind of have this unique process of doing things or understanding things and how we come to our intuition. And the way I was connecting it, this is the wording I'm giving in terms of what I want to present today in relation to it. So just like a cell is never the same as another cell, a fingerprint is not the same as another fingerprint, and yet they're still, albeit labeled as fingerprints. It's a color, we call it a color, we call it this, we call it this, we call it this. Either way, it ties in a lot with how astrology as a tool has all these concepts also as tools to help us remember, it's categorizing things and it's helping us to make sense of the material world, the physical world, the world of form, so that eventually, once we've gone through that, we won't need it anymore eventually, or we'll still use it, but it won't need it, as in we will not be attached to it. So if we looked at an example of the planets, the planets and the signs, the houses in astrology are, and include that, anything else, if you want to call it the luminaries, if you want to call it the asteroids, planetary bodies, centaurs, fixed stars, meteors, asteroids, galaxies, clusters. Really, the point is, all those is kind of like the same as your hands, like your parts of the body. Your fingers, your skin, nervous system, digestive system, sexual reproduction, your eyes, your visions, your brain, all those things are all part of that. And the planets are basically the same thing. It's all one part of a unit. So it's part of a unit, it's part of the whole. And the more we grow, the more we get information, the more we either know about something else that we've already known before and actually understand it a bit more through personal experience with interacting with it, and at the same time knowing more, let's say literally more planets, more information comes through. So it doesn't matter how it goes through, the evolution still will happen. So how I put it here is, I actually took notes on this. So there's one, is that they're all functions of the universe to help us evolve and grow. Right? So function came to me just, each function is in all of us, naturally. So for example, like Mercury is learning, adaptability, all those things that is Mercury, communication, all have it. It comes out in just different ways. And telling you this will not help you understand it. It'll just kind of give you insights into why things are the way they are. More like not why, but just how. And it's a beautiful thing, right? And number two, each function is physically and materially different based on the evolutionary process of this life, its past heredity and future commodity, timeless processing. So what that means really is the body that you chose to come into isn't just the body. It comes from millions of years of evolutionary process and millions and billions, even more than that, of how it came up to be. And whether it's natural or cloned or however the process came through, it still it's that intelligence. The universe is working through that the intelligence of the universe is working through choices that were made in the past, choices that are being made, choices that are to be made. In any case, it's choices. And number three, each of those functions is added upon as we evolve and grow. So, like I said earlier, one clear example is like when you get new planets, new discoveries of our own chart, just like what I posted recently. I have posted the first episode of the Yod series. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And then new interpretation as well. So you start to kind of realize, oh, okay, so this is what it means based on my experience. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so I think it's just, looking at it from the view of the form, and it's still beautiful, because, and so it makes us really sort of, this is just a little bit of it. This is just a preview, you want to call it, like a glimpse, or rather an overall thing of just how same, similar, and different things are, because they're really, I'm going to say it this time, three sides of the same coin, if that makes sense, right? Three sides of whatever, a triangle, doesn't matter, right? So if you really look at it, that's why some charts just really look the same. It's our egoic, separative tendencies to attach into form and labels and names and all these things that we start to identify with certain things that eventually we get sick and tired of, or that we're judged for it, or that we judge ourselves, or eventually then we start to slowly let it go. I actually wanted to show you a preview of something, an example, and where this one is about three countries actually. I didn't just show exactly what they are, but you see how this one has all these aspects and all these, you see where the sun is, for example, here on this one, right? So it's going to behave differently than the sun where the sun is on this one, right? So, but the sun is still there. I mean, this is just a example, and this here you have the sun here, down here on this one, and here the sun is on another house. It's on another side. So you see how it's all kind of different. But that's just to illustrate, lightly illustrate what those are. Like, it doesn't matter what you do with it. It doesn't matter what we see it as. It's gonna be the way it is. So, alright, so I thought I just kind of showed a little bit on that, and just a little tidbit there that, to show that, for me at least, this is a reminder of how, in truth, our essence, it's all the same. Everything has consciousness. This table that I have, this laptop, it has an intelligence because if you look at the parts of it, like let's say a laptop, its little part is plastic. The wires are metal, parts of it are fabric, probably inside. The electricity that runs through it, it's really what it is. Whether you were talking about whatever size it is it big or is it miniaturized, so it was a great reminder of how I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So I just wanted to share that tiny bit of insight. It's little, but I think for me, it's meaningful. Anyways, thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys later.